Just up there, just near that first yellow roadwork sign. That's where it lost power. It's finally let me down. So I'm actually heading out to film an E92 M3, which I was super pumped about. And the N54 has finally broken down. This is the first time it's let me down in the 3 or 4 months I've had it. Everyone said they're super unreliable. But nah, I got a good one. But it's finally done it. As soon as it started to misfire, I backed off. I'm super concerned about doing any damage with this whilst it's running these quite aggressive tunes on it. Yeah, so as soon as I felt the, it went into like a misfire state, although there wasn't an engine warning light on the dash. Ah, it's a bit annoying. Yeah, so there was no engine warning light on the dash. I flicked the JB4 straight onto the gauges, which I wasn't actually using. I was just cruising along, so I wasn't paying a lot of attention to what the engine was doing. Put the gauges on, and this is all sort of just as I've pulled in here. Before I shut the car off, I wanted to see what was going on with the AFRs. Both were sitting right around at 20, so super lean. And I always look straight at the AFRs because it tells you, well, how much fuel and everything's burning on the engine. Of course, high AFRs are dangerous. I glanced over at the low pressure fuel pressure and it was 3 psi. As soon as I saw that, I realized obviously we've got a fuel pressure problem. Shut the car off, and I was sort of hoping maybe something's happened with the fuel pump module and I'll be able to limp it again, or it might just come good with a restart, which commonly happens with these things. Yeah, shut the car off, start it back up. It idled fine. I didn't accelerate, I didn't put any load on the engine, but it was idling fine. But the low pressure fuel pressure only went to about 30 psi on the second restart. So yeah, I limped it this 50 or 100 meters down into this little pull-off bay, and I parked up, and that's when I grabbed the camera. I thought, oh, I better record this. Okay, so let's power it up again and just see what the fuel pressure does. I'll just connect that JB4. Okay, so we've got 10 psi. That's with the car off. Obviously, we're not going to get high pressure fuel pressure until the engine's cranking. We'll just see if it'll start. It died straight away, and the fuel pressure come down. So it hasn't got enough fuel pressure to feed the high pressure fuel pump, I guess. Okay, I'm guessing the super cheap Chinese fuel pump that I fitted, which has been in there for about 2 or 3 months, has finally let go. Yeah, as I said before, I'm actually on my way out to film an E92 M3, so I've got to get over to that location where we're going to film that. I'll vlog the rest of this process, the recovery process, and let you guys know exactly what it was. I'm going to hopefully not have to pay for a tow, so I'll nip into work and I've actually got a spare fuel pump, so I'll nip in and get that and see if I can fit it on the side of the road. You'll see us in another couple of hours. N54 life. So we fast forwarded 5 hours. That was like 6:30 last time I was talking to the camera. We got the E92 film. That thing was friggin' wild. The Gintani tune.
Amazing.
Dave has come to my rescue. We went into work, picked up the spare fuel pump, and we're just heading back to the car now. The last time we left the black BMW broken down on the side of the road for 2 hours, we'd come back to a penis drawn on it. So fingers crossed that's not happened again. Whew, and fingers crossed this fuel pump gets it going. All right, we'll see you in a second. Oh, she's still there. No one stole it. Didn't bring the key. So, I'm going to just make sure no one's drawn a tick on it. They haven't. No new dicks around here. Just the two that are trying to fix it. Alright, I'm going to see if it'll actually start, just in case it's decided to fix itself. Okay, it's running. I might just grab my phone and check the fuel pressure on the JB4. So the JB4 is disconnected, and although we've got high pressure fuel, we still have no low pressure. So as soon as I rev it, the high pressure fuel pump starts to crash. All right, let's get this old fuel pump out and see how we go. Okay, so I was half tempted to try and limp it back, but with that low, it's 6 psi on the low pressure side, as soon as I try and accelerate on the highway, I'll get into load, it's just not going to work. So we're going to attempt to swap the low pressure fuel pump on the side of the road. To do that, it's actually not too bad. I've got to basically just pull the seat out, get the pump out. I bought the soldering iron, I've got the spare pump. Let's just get it swapped and see how we go. Yep. Okay, so we've got access to the actual fuel tank. And now it is a matter of getting the breather off. Which is that one there. And get to use my snazzy, I can't remember what brand it is now, Precision Raceworks tool for cracking the ring. I'm supposed to do it the right way around. Which is nice, because normally when I do this I just use a chisel. That makes it so much easier. Cool. Plonk that down there on the tool bench. I've got over half a tank, so this is going to suck actually for fuel. So that'll actually let the fuel pump module come out. Fuel go everywhere. Oh, right. The pump hasn't failed.
What's happened?
It's the hose
No.
that joins the pump. So there you go.
No. Take it back. eBay pumps are the best.
Well, no, it's funny because they supply this little bit of hose with the pump, which is supposed to be E85 compatible, and obviously it's not. Okay, well, that might not be too bad of a fix, maybe. Should disconnect that line there. Oh my gosh. You got the camera? So if you can see in here of the E85, you can see the hose is actually split. So that's the hose that connects the pump to the fuel line. Alright, that might not be too bad to swap over because I've got my black market parts adapter. Still got the camera on there? Can you see this here? So when I did this pump, I followed a DIY where they basically used the original rubber hose and adapted it into a quick disconnect fitting. That might just spray a bit if there's still a few PSI in there. Yeah, power's disconnected from the pump, so we won't get any. Cool, we didn't get a spray. Yeah, so basically all I got to do is take that off and put the black market parts fitting on there. Excellent! I'm so stoked that it was an obvious problem. I remember fitting that hose, it was tight. Wow. Just the hose blew out.
Not good.
Really? Alright, I'll get that fitting. So I ended up fitting the black market parts adapter onto the new pump, assuming I was going to be fitting the new pump. So I've just got to remove it. Now these are actually a two-piece fitting, they're super easy to fit. Hopefully I can get in there and do it. But yeah, basically I'm going to replace that hose section, which I've just put in the other car, with this smaller fitting. So the key is to not drop this down in the fuel tank.
I won't scare you.
It's so cool if you did not. Oh, I think it's time to draw. Just quietly, how nice does the 85 smell?
It's quite strong in this little cabin.
It smells better than dirty, like old fuel or something.
Yeah, when you wreck the car.
Oh, okay. That's actually gone on. I'm just going to try and tighten it. Kind of hard to get in there. Use this little lever. Ah, that's tight. That's not. That's going to seal on the O-ring. So now, with the factory fuel line here, which goes over to the regulator, I can pop that on. That should be fixed. That should be it. Let's get it back in and powered up. Ah! Don't do what I just did. Don't forget to put the breather back on, or else you won't be able to fill your fuel tank up.
Lucky you remembered.
I only remembered because I was watching the Budget Beamer channel on their E85 video, and they forgot, and it's always stuck in my head. Always double check it.
Well, thanks, Budget Beamers.
Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Power up. Yeah, I'll do it like that, finger tight for now. We'll power it up and we'll see if we've got fuel pressure. Moment of truth. Okay. I won't even need to start it. I'll just go like that. Connect. 65 psi. Thank you for the fuel pressure.
Just like that.
67, 73, 72.
Looks a bit healthier.
Oh, and I thought the Chinese pumps were crap. It's just the hoses. Alright. So let's get the rest of it put back together. And you're good to go. So it's fixed, it's running again.
It runs for now, but I think all the people on the internet were right. This thing, it's going to let you down.
I've got a good mate with an M2, and he's always been giving me shit that the M54 is going to be problematic and let me down. And I've got to be fair, it's this Chinese rubber shit. Look how soft that's gone.
Yeah, that's weird. So if that's a real fuel line, that shouldn't happen.
No, so these were advertised as E85 compatible pumps, but they are those $30 pumps, like I've said in the video. The pump is still fine, it's just that fitting. So I've gone to that black market parts fitting, which is good.
Shouldn't have any issues, so it's lucky you had that there. Well, it's lucky you had everything, really.
It was. That was easier than swapping the pump. That was good. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Everyone buy M54s, they're amazing.
See you guys.